And we're going to stay right here. Front Office Insights are presented by Sage, and we're pleased to be joined by the new general manager of the San Francisco Giants, Zack Minasian. Zack, it's Brian Kenny. Congratulations on the new position. Congratulations on the success.
Thanks, Brian. I really appreciate it. Really excited and grateful for the opportunity here.
And you look terrific. Look at this top executive. There you are. You've been with the Giants since 2022, so you were there under Farhan Zaidi. Buster Posey, who's likely a future Hall of Famer, takes over president of baseball ops. How are things different in that front office now?
Oh, boy. Yeah. Farhan brought me in. A lot of respect for him. Learned a lot from him and Buster coming in now. Obviously, things are going to be different. I don't think Buster at one point or another has ever said, how do we do things differently from how they've been done before, as much as him just wanting to put his own stamp on things. So there's going to be some differences over the course of the year, but for the most part, it's been business as usual.
It seems from what I've read about Buster, and just talking to Buster through the years, he prizes culture, right? And you now have, it's interesting, you have Willie Adames and Matt Chapman on the left side of your infield that you brought in, that you've re-signed, two solid guys, right? Is there additional value when you have that kind of player? That player, they're known for their focus and their energy.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm biased, having grown up in a clubhouse and seen what that chemistry can do for a team. But those two being the leaders that they are, the type of people that they are, I almost look at it like a point guard in basketball, making his teammates better around him. And I think those two are going to do that for this team.
Yeah, how much is not quantified? I mean, that's brought up on this show all the time. But even I see like there is a thing to the group dynamic, to energy, to guys being focused, having a good effect on their teammates. Again, you've viewed the game for a long time with you and your family. How much is not quantified?
Oh, it's a ton. It's a ton, and like we said, it's something that you really can't put your finger on. I think when you see it, you know it's there. Mm-hmm. So even having the relationship with teammates where players can offer criticism and there's changes made, whether it's a swing or whether it's defensive position, it could be anything. And those things add up over time, and they'll equate to wins.
Justin Verlander, a legend, obviously future Hall of Famer, but now it's age 42 season. Last year had a 5 ERA for 90 innings. Why go after Verlander?
We still saw some stuff left in there late in the year, and talking to JV's agent, Mark Pieper, he said there is no way Justin Verlander is going to go out on a year like that, and he's someone who's met every challenge along the way of his career. We surely think he's going to be a very good pitcher on the field, but it's just been amazing what he's brought off the field. He's been great, spring training, mixing with teammates. Buster and I were laughing yesterday, and everyone's getting on the plane, and players don't quite dress the way they used to, say, 20 years ago, but here comes JV dressed to the nines, so even raising the standard of our wardrobe, he might be doing. So he's just been awesome so far through the spring, and really looking forward to him on the mound this year.
So culture was a part of that signing too, the pedigree.
Yeah, we talk about it with every player we go after. What kind of person are we getting? What kind of teammate are we getting? And just having a standard of what it means to be a San Francisco Giant. Nobody appreciates that more than Buster Posey. And bringing in JV, he's been a great example, not only for the young players, young pitchers, but veteran pitchers like Logan Webb, Robbie Ray, so many others. So yeah, culture is definitely something we talk about often. And really, we want the culture to be set by our players, by the JVs, by the Webbies, by Chapman, by Adames, and so many others. And they've taken that over, and it's a really good vibe right now.
Now, I mentioned this, Zach, a lot this week. Like the number one storyline is your arch rival. Right. So what is your view of the Dodgers and where they're at right now?
I really try not to view it and really focus on ourselves. Who are we? What's our identity? Who do we want to be? How are we going to succeed? Try not to get too wrapped up in any one team, especially the Dodgers. They have a lot of talent. We're in a very talented division, and we have to accept that challenge. And as Buster and I have talked about this throughout the offseason, and we've been very vocal about San Francisco Giants have been a team that's excelled by pitching and playing good defense, and that's who we need to be. So my focus is much more on that than any other team.
I would imagine, though, it gives you the impetus to go, as they say, upstairs. Like if you have your rival spending at that level, like we just showed we put your club up there too on the payrolls. Like at a certain point, if they're 150, 200 million more in payroll, it does make things a little more difficult. You can compete, but I would imagine it gives you the impetus, like we need to globally stay with these guys a little bit.
Yeah, when you talk about our global presence, my prior role, I spent a lot of time in Asia, and I saw Yamamoto starts, I saw Roki Sasaki starts, I saw Eminaga starts. We definitely feel the San Francisco Giants are an attractive place to play for any player, domestic or foreign, and we're definitely going to leverage that going forward. But much more than looking at payroll, we want to mix in young players as well, and there is a formula of success here that involved drafting and developing our own players, and those players obviously are going to be cost controlled. So it's not necessarily a goal of having the highest payroll as much as having entertaining players that we can rely on day in and day out, and really trying to build a nucleus that we can depend on for years to come.
You and your brother Perry are the only general manager brothers at the same time in the history of baseball. Like, how about that? That's so incredible. You must marvel. Your whole family must marvel at that.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's look, it's a credit to a lot of people that we grew up around. Our parents, our brothers, different executives, managers, and I've seen Buck Showalter on MLB Network often, and we both learned under him. Bobby Valentine, Tom Grieve, John Hart, Doug Melvin, so many different people. We were so fortunate, and I don't know if any of us ever thought this was possible, especially at the same time. We just love baseball, so we're very fortunate to be in the roles that we're in, and really just fortunate to be a part of this great game.
It sounds like, again, growing up with your dad in the clubhouse, right? But that's a master class you're talking about. If you're listening to Buck Showalter for a couple of years, Bobby Valentine for a couple of years, you see, you were receptive to soaking up that knowledge, that baseball brilliance.
Yeah, I knew it was special day in and day out to be able to go in there, whether it was coaches, players, executives. It was extremely special. And eventually my dad ran the home clubhouse, and being in the home clubhouse day in and day out, you feel like you're a part of the team. It means everything to us. It meant everything to us to see those Rangers teams win. And you very much you soak up everything. And whether it's the vibe, whether it's the knowledge, so many great coaches, players, like I said, managers have. So I enjoyed every second of it. Very fortunate to have grown up that way, and hopefully it serves me well in this role.
Did you ever think you'd be the guy in the suit?
Oh, boy. Well, I knew I wasn't going to play. So, growing up in the clubhouse, and I tell this story about watching Albert Bell take soft toss, swings in the clubhouse against the net, just thinking this is different. I'm never going to be able to do this. So I certainly hope for the opportunity to work in the front office at some point, and was fortunate. Doug Melvin gave me that opportunity in Milwaukee, and it's continued on here. Farhan gave me an opportunity to come here, and Buster obviously an opportunity to take on this role.
Well, Zach, congratulations, general manager for the San Francisco Giants, your brother, GM of the Angels. It's tremendous. Enjoy the game today. Again, congratulations and best of luck this year, Zach.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
I'm doing well. I'm a little out of breath, so I could get here in time. But you guys look nice.
Thank you.
The sun's out, and
it's beautiful,
we just got some baseball, man.
Isn't it interesting how this time last year, your role isn't what it is now?
Tell me what it was. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think of? What do you make of that? About 1 year ago today, where you were then, as opposed to where you are now?
Yeah, I think at that point, my mindset was truly like, just go get people out. It was about the platform to just have a job, to get back on track, to kind of my process that lasted a few years of just fighting injuries and trying to, like a lot of stories, right? But it's about success on the field. That's all what people care about. That's what keeps you around. So it was really just about humbling myself, being in a good mindset, and just going out there. And next thing you know, it's like, now we're going. And we're like, whoa, how do we get here?
You really took to the role, though. I mean, I think about the World Series. I was here for every game. You coming out of the bullpen, people were expecting lockdown stuff, and you kind of gave it to them. You kind of mixed around your pitch usage, got some ride on your heater, changed the way you held it. Take me through that whole, do you enjoy the reliever role being a starter your entire life?
Yeah, you hit on a lot of things there. I do enjoy the reliever life. It's different. It's not as luxury with the days off and getting to watch some baseball. You got to be on every day, but I like that. I like waking up knowing that every day's consistent. Even playing with my kids and being with my family, there's not like start day where it's like, hey, I got to eat a certain way, I got to think a certain way, and that could be a little stressful, and I know that's how I handled it. So the adjustments I made, getting the force seam back on track, being able to throw harder out of the pen, right, not trying to conserve as much on the mound, and then just thinking about what it was like to be a starter and just go out there and pitch, move the ball around, not be predictable, and use that with one at bat, maybe a couple bats in a series to my advantage, and just try to use that mindset over the course of the year.
I wonder if you could give us a little scouting report on one of the new additions to the bullpen, and that's Devin Williams. Obviously, he's an accomplished closer in this game for a while. Obviously you were aware of him, but when you saw him in spring throw a bullpen for the first time, what did you think?
That, I guess, bending air is a thing. I don't know. No, it was, I've been a fan, like a lot of us, watching, especially a pitch that is in kind of its own category. It's been fun to talk to him, get to know him. I told him we're going to be best friends pretty quick, and he probably thought that was a little weird, but now he's, he seems to be around me a lot. I'm just saying. But no, we're having a good time. He's going to be a huge boost for us back in the back end of the game there, and, hopefully just shut the door and do the things that we need to for these fans.
You look like a super introspective guy, so
that was crazy word.
Opening day has got to mean something to you.
It does. I think it should never go unnoticed. You shouldn't just show up and just be like, all right, let's start another season. I really take in the line, and when we have the national anthem, it's just such a cool thing to remind you, you get to do this for another year. And when you start to count your blessings when it's all said and done, you're like, it's gonna end, and it's like, I want to be able to have my family to enjoy it and just be like, this isn't forever. So the young guys, I remember that day, but even here, it feels the same exact way, where you're just like, man, it smells different, it tastes different, it looks different, but it's time to go play some baseball.